All right, guys, Charizard UPC. We're waiting for it. We're excited for it, but do we know the entire story? I have some super important insider information that you guys need to know about. So stick around to the end of this episode. You guys got to hear what I have to say on this one. So before we get into this episode, guys, I want to just mention a few things. Number one, this information comes from an incredibly reliable source, so I just have to tell you that. I'm not going to disclose who it's from, but I can tell you, if you've been watching this channel, you know I wouldn't say that unless it was true. So the source is reliable, the information is good, and it's important. And I already did get the approval from said person to share the information with you guys and the channel in general. So I just want that to be known right up front. And yeah, I just had to preface that. Okay. So what we're talking about here, guys, is the Charizard UPC. If you have no idea what that is, go watch the episode or two that I've already posted about this. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description. But go check out those episodes, and it will kind of give you a breakdown on what this is. But this is a really nice synopsis of what this box entails. Or I would guess to imagine that there's a minority of people that don't know about it. So this is what it is. It's going to be this kick-ass Charizard box. It's going to come with, you know, your everyday packs. It looks like Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Strike. That's not what's important really about this box in general. What's really important are these three promo cards, in my opinion. And again, like I said, go check out the episode. We're not going to spend too much time on them, but here are the artworks. They're freaking kick-ass. They're amazing. They're cool. That's not what this is about, but I just want to give you a little bit of backstory on what we're talking about in case you don't know. But definitely go watch the other episode if you haven't seen it already. That way you're up to date on what this thing is. Okay, so now that we know what we're talking about, we want to read this little blurb right here, okay? So number one, market updates. The manufacturer TPCI, which for those of you who don't know is the Pokemon Company International, if I'm not mistaken. It's nothing more to say than just it's the US and European version of just the Pokemon Company. So obviously, you know, Pokemon's from Japan, but this is like the US face of the arm of this beast, okay? So that's TPCI. When you see that, there is a misprint in this where it says TCPI, but we'll get to that. Not to be mistaken, but it's just the Pokemon Company has announced that there will be 2 waves. So a lot of us know that already, right? Because people are already taking pre-orders on the second wave. So this is really important, and this is why this information needs to go out to the public, in my opinion, because I think that it will taper buying and price expectations initially, and hopefully it'll save people from paying maybe $1,000 for one box if they're, you know, misinformed. So both roughly the same size. So both waves will be the same size. The first will be arriving on release. So a release is October 28th. Okay, so that's like a month. That's like a few weeks. We're very excited, right? So that's a few weeks from now. And then the second is going to be in January or February, so they don't know when the second wave is going to come out. Accordingly, we have created 2 SKUs that are selling, and we are selling them separately. So it sounds like they're selling both waves separately. The manufacturer's MSRP, we already know, is $119 on this thing. But the lowest legitimate market price currently out there is around $210. I did actually do a little bit of homework on that, and I was able to confirm that's about correct. So when I looked around at prices, I see $199, $209. That seems to be about normal. I will see some people that are selling for $249. I did see one listing for $999, but that since has been taken down. So, you know, and then there's also listings for $1,000, but that is for a case of 4. So really $250 a piece. So something to keep your eyes on. Another thing to know, I did Google Charizard Ultra Premium Collection Box, and it was so funny. Dr. Applesauce came up, so shout out to Dr. Applesauce. I do like his stuff. I've never really talked to him really in person, but I have watched his content. And he seems like a very good guy, God-fearing man, and I love all of that. So I appreciate that. If you're watching this, Dr. A, well done. Okay, and then also scrolling down, it's your boy. We talked about this video that you got to go watch. That's the video. We're coming up on Google now. I mean, we are heavy hitters in the D-list community for Pokemon content creation. We just got to say that. Okay. All right, so let's go back to this blurb here. Man, talk about a tangent. So a primary driver behind those prices is suppliers using the Celebration Ultra Premium as a comp. So that's the UPC for Celebrations. You can kind of see, right there. UPC Celebration. Maybe I'll put one up on the screen as a comp. That unit was very hot and is currently selling for $350 to $400, and it never really spent much time below $250. That's also a fact, even during pre-sale. So that item was super, super, super sought after. It has the metal Charizard card and the metal Pikachu. Again, go check out the video. We posted a video on the Celebrations UPC. Therefore, we're not surprised to see few, if any, suppliers willing to sell extra units at all right now, let alone at our MSRP. So what they're kind of mentioning is any of the units that you see, they're not going to be sold really at MSRP. Now, that's not exactly true, because I have seen little pop-up sales where the UPC, where the Charizard UPC is being sold at retail at 119, which is props to those guys that are selling them. They obviously sell out within seconds. The hype and the stock on those last for as long as you can say the whole sentence, because people have already gone to that website and bought those up. And all information so far is indicating that TCP, okay, so this is the Pokemon company, TPCI, printed at least triple the quantity, including both waves. So triple the amount of the Celebrations unit. So they've printed triple the Charizard unit versus the Celebration unit. And they say, and they emphasize again here, triple. That is a huge difference in supply slash demand equation. Therefore, the market pricing graph should look like a double camel hump, which means, you know, like this, like this. Okay, you get what I'm saying. A double camel hump with its lows being around the first release date and the second wave of arrival. So they're figuring the lowest prices are going to be around release date. So that's something to take into consideration. The first release date and second arrival, then a slow and steady climb after the second wave starts to dry up. I know you can't kind of see that. So this is really, really important, guys, to take into consideration on how you're going to buy these. And now this is not to say that this box is not going to be as hot, or there's going to be way more inventory, which is going to drive down demand. You might, like, if we were to, okay, so just thinking in my mind, if we're comparing the two, we're comparing the UPC for Celebrations to the Charizard UPC. Can we say that there is triple the amount of hype that there was for the Celebrations UPC? So does that mean it's going to be around the same, right? So are there just going to be that many more people wanting to buy the Charizard UPC as opposed to the Celebrations? I think that both, you know, people would want to buy both, but I think there is so much just ridiculous hype around this Charizard UPC that even though they're printing triple, it might not even move the needle, if you know what I'm saying. The demand might supersede the inventory or the waves that are coming in, or just the amount of product in general. I think also you're going to see a lot more people opening this box as opposed to the Celebrations box. The Celebrations box was maybe open one and keep the rest sealed. That was kind of like the feel, right? And they wanted to just get those metal cards. Also, another thing to note, PSA isn't grading those metal cards, so there's actually less of an urgency or a demand to open those boxes. So I think you're going to see a lot more of those sealed, as opposed to the Charizard box, where you have 3 different cards that are going to be in incredibly high demand, especially for grading purposes or just for owning them in general and busting them out of the box. So even though they're printing triple, I think you might see 100x of the amount of people actually opening these to get inside for the contents, because the contents are not so much the packs, but they're actually the, you know, the special edition cards or the promo cards. So that's something huge to consider, and especially when it comes to buying it. So what I'm saying here, guys, is no matter how many they print of this, I think the demand is going to be just so insane, and it's going to be at, or, you know, exceeding the level of the Celebrations UPC, in my opinion, from what I've seen on these cards. Now, if you get these cards and they're a little bit underwhelming compared to what you're seeing in the pictures, maybe you'll see that hype maybe taper. But from what I'm seeing, guys, the cards are going to be even better in person, and it's going to just drive these things to the moon. I see this item even still going to the moon. People may disagree with me. This is good and bad. Maybe this hurts the value from an investing point of view or from an equity point of view later on for the item. But I'm also happy to see triple the amount, because that tells me that maybe triple the amount of people will be able to get their hands on these at a reasonable price. And that's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, guys, it's not making an extra $100 bill on something like this. It's for, you know, people like you and me being able to enjoy it, and the whole community can say, yeah, I got those freaking Charizards, and I didn't have to sell my plasma to get them. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope today's episode was informative and somewhat useful to you in some way. I hope that you guys can all get these. One place that you're going to want to check as far as, you know, how to get some of these is definitely join our Discord. I've seen drops in our own Discord where they have linked the websites where you can get these at retail, and they pop up out of nowhere. I mean, that's how it's felt to me. Every time that I've clicked on the link, it's unfortunately been sold out, but I also didn't click immediately. So definitely go check out our Discord. If you're enjoying the content, guys, hit the sub button. It's free to do. It's the best way that you can show me that I'm doing my job and I'm doing a good job. And you're liking the content. That's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next live or the next episode. Peace.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. It's time to hit the button already. Do it now. What do you think, I'm dancing for free here?